Welcome back to Just the Good Bits. We're going to do a 1 gallon of hard apple cider. We're going to start off by making a starter for that. Paramount is sanitation here. You want to clean everything and sanitize everything. I'm using an iota 4 formula to sanitize my 1 gallon container. I have it soaking it set in here. And I empty that out. Start. We're going to start first off with making a starter, and that's just to get the yeast going. We're going to open 1 can of apple juice and put it in here. Make sure we don't spill too much. Then we're going to use distilled water. Distilled water, you know, is clean and pure. Spring water might have minerals, might have some other things in there that could actually counteract the effectiveness of the yeast. So if you're not going to boil the water and cool it off, somehow keep it all sterile, you need to use distilled water. And what we're going to do is use about 1/2 gallon. I want this solution to start with to be kind of weak. And now we've had our yeast packet sanitizing in the sanitation water. We've had our scissors in the sanitation water. We're going to cut this open, add the yeast, and then we're going to put our airlock on there and let it sit overnight before we put the rest of the juice in. Our cap for the airlock, it's all sterile. It screws on in this case, so we know we got a tight fit. We got a 3-piece airlock. I'll put the first piece on there first. Again, I'm fishing all this out of iota 4 solution. And we're going to shake this and let it sit overnight. Now we should get some bubbling action by when we come back to finish making this cider. Thank you. The iota 4 I was talking about. Get a close up here so you can see what I'm talking about. Iota 4. Now that we have a strong propagated yeast, we actually have aeration. You can look at the bubbler or the airlock and see bubbles. We know the yeast is strong, so now we can add the rest of our juice and water to give us a gallon of cider. And let's do that. We're going to remove our airlock and we're going to put it in a solution, a sanitizing solution. Take a funnel out of our sanitizing solution, put it in the top, and we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. Turn our airlock. shake, make sure we have everything blended. And now we wait 10 more days and we'll be ready to bottle. We need to rack this. We want to rack it to get it off the yeast. Now if we look over here at our fermentor, we no longer have bubbling coming through the airlock. The yeast is settled to the bottom, so it's not active. We want to get it off the yeast to preserve the crisp, clean taste of the cider. Otherwise we'll get esters and extra fruity flavors from the yeast. And that's when you know you're done. It's stopped. The air bubbler stopped and your yeast is settled. So let's get started. We're going to remove this cap. We're going to take a racking cane and our cane holder. Let's start putting the cane holder there. This is all in sanitized water. Sanitizing water.
Where do you buy this stuff?
Homebrew shops online.
Where did you get your bottles?
Got my bottles from Walmart. They had wine in them. And now we're racking. And as it racks, we'll lower the cane down a little more, a little more. We don't want to disturb that yeast anymore when we have to. We're trying to get away from the yeast. That's the whole point of the exercise here. And that's all we're going to do. When we finish getting the cider from here, we're going to put a clean airlock on here that's out of our sanitizing bucket.
So what does the airlock look like again?
That's the airlock looks like. That's the one we had before. This is not clean.
Where do you get those?
Homebrew shop.
Can you get them online?
You can get them online at Amazon or other stores. There are a lot of places online.
And they just call them airlocks?
Yeah. Now, for this, I got an airlock that has a threaded cap to fit the 1 gallon jug. That's the easiest thing for the 1 gallon jug. It's real slick. It works real good.
Did you get that on Amazon as well?
I'd have to check. I don't know.
Where did you get it?
I believe I got them from Northern Brewer. And I lost my siphon trying to keep it up there. That happens occasionally. It's no big deal. We lost a little bit down here, but we're going to siphon that. We're going to use that anyway for something else. Let's get our airlock on here.
So what happens if you get some of that yeast in there?
Well, some of it's okay. You just don't want to get a lot of it. A lot of it would be the same as not racking it, and you could wind up with some extra fruity flavors that might not necessarily be apple flavors, and it would take away from your cider taste that you're looking for.
I mean, but you can drink it.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to be in cider that should hurt you. Let's fill this up with our sanitation liquid. Putting our airlock together. There you go. And now we've got it racked, and 4 or 5 days, we're going to actually wait till next weekend, and we're going to bottle that.
So why do you have to have the airlock on it the second time?
To keep anything from getting in.
Oh, all right.
Getting ready to bottle. First we're going to do our sanitation. Anything that the cider's going to come in contact with, we need to sanitize. And after we get that started, we're going to boil 1 cup of water with corn sugar and stevia. The corn sugar is to get the carbonation because it'll activate the yeast. It'll start to produce a little more alcohol, and the CO2 we need to carbonate it. We're going to add stevia so we'll have a little sweetness to it, because anybody that's made cider, if you don't know already, the sugars from the cider ferment dry, very dry. You won't have any body or residual sugars that way. So let's measure that. 1/4 cup each, corn sugar and stevia, put it in the pot with 1 cup of water. We're going to boil it for 5 minutes.
Is that special kind of sugar you get there?
This is corn sugar. It's what brewers use for bottling.
Where would you get that?
Well, you can get it on the line on Amazon or any home brew shop. Try to level this off a little bit. There you go, 1/4 cup of corn sugar. Stevia, 1 cup of water. Now we're going to turn the heat on, bring it to a boil, boil 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready to continue with the bottling process. We need to rack our cider into a bottling container. In this case, we're going to use a small pot, and we're going to start putting a racking gate in here like we did from one fermenter to another. We're using our sanitation liquid in here to pull the siphon.
All of this has been sanitized as well, right?
Oh, it's all been sanitized, yes. We'll put our holes in our bucket here. We're going to blend in our boiled priming liquid that we boiled for 5 minutes, we talked about earlier.
It's okay to put it in hot like that.
Yes, because it's going to cool it. The rest of the liquid going in here is going to cool it. You want to do it while you're still racking, because it gives it a chance to blend. And after we finish this, we're going to set the racking cane again and put the bottling wand on it, and we're going to bottle. And you'll see that momentarily. You can stop it. You've seen enough of them. Now we need to siphon through a bottling wand from our bucket to our bottles. We're going to start with putting some in a bottle, get the sanitizing fluid out of the hose. Now we got that, you can tell the color change. Now we're going to fill our bottles, and then we're going to put our caps on. And if you have a bottling wand, it's that simple. Just a matter of being patient. I'm going to take it to about right here and stop, move to the next bottle. It's that simple. Just repeat the process until you're done, and then put the caps on. We'll be back to put the caps on momentarily. Okay, as you can see, I've got 9 12-ounce bottles and almost a full pint for the brewer. And we're going to cap these, and if you don't set up this way to cap this, you can use recycled Coke bottles and do the short version. As long as you get them clean and sanitized. And screw top, and if you need to see that Coke bottle, for instance, I've done one on another video, and you look at that and you can see how I did it. The technique's the same, so if you're not using a bottler.
There's also cheaper bottle cappers out there than that one.
Yes, there is. You use the two-handled one, which is not as convenient to use, but it's a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's about 20 bucks, isn't it?
And if you're saving the beer bottles for capping, you got to make sure you don't get the threaded ones, because these homebrew cappers will not work on that. It takes a lot more pressure to do that. And our next, the end of this video will show us sampling the carbonated product. and we'll see you then. It's time for a taste test. We bottled this about 3 weeks ago. We've got light carbonation, which you may see. There's a little bit of yeast floating around from the bottom of the bottle, which is natural when you do bottle carbonation. Let's do a taste test. A little close up. Can you see in the glass?
Oh, yeah. Yummy.
Now that's fine stuff. Lovely. Thank you.